Evening everyone, evening. Just setting up the track map, people. Let's have a look, see if that's decent enough or not. I think it could be a bit bigger, to be honest. Let's have a look. Any rum? Yes. Although I've got lemonade with it tonight, so it looks like I'm drinking a can of. Looks like I'm drinking Red Bull. I ran out of Coke, so yes, rum and lemonade, which is surprisingly nice, actually. This is my third. I've had, so I do doubles. So I've had 2 doubles already. This is my third. Which rum have I got? So I have the, oh, what's it called? Dead Man Fingers Spice Rum. It's got a touch of vanilla to it. Lovely. Lovely. No, we're not getting wasted. Just a nice casual Saturday night drink. It's I used to drink cider, like as a casual like drink on an evening, but it's just a bit too heavy. Just a bit too heavy for me on the stomach. So right, let's change scene. Here we are. It's a shame this stuff doesn't just set out where you've set it up from before. So let's see if we can increase that a bit in size. There we go. So we have, I think T1's the more important corner to show there. There we go. There we go, guys. There we go. Oh. Yeah. It's. I mean, I like a normal cider. Inches is nice. Inches cider. If anyone's tried that off a draft, it's lovely. Out of a can and a bottle, not the same. It's not quite the same. So, yeah, I've gone off of those to drinking more of like a spirit and lemonade or diet lemonade or diet Coke or something, because it's a bit it's less calorific as well, believe it or not. Like if you have a bottle of Copperberg or Recorderlig or any cider, to be honest, it's like 300 calories a bottle. So like you don't realize like you're having a shitload of calories and sugar, and yeah, you just wake up. I wake up the next morning and my stomach's in pieces. So it's like, Shuey? No shoes today. Wish it were not a work day tomorrow, Mark. Oh, working on a Sunday. I hope you're getting paid double time for it, buddy. Southern Comfort's nice. Yeah, I do like a bit of a Southern Comfort. Honey rum's lovely. Oh, nice and sweet. Nice. I've got a bit of a sweet tooth, so nice and sweet. Nice. Yeah, something that's got a bit of sweetness to it hits a spot for me. But yeah, I do like a bit of a rum. Right, so not long until qualifying starts. Of course, Max is still favourite, but intrigued to see if Mr. Albano is able to do anything and throw a spanner in the works for everyone here today. Because the Williams has looked pretty strong. Second in first practice session and the third practice session. So yeah, let's see what occurs. Hey, good to see you. I draw for an. Or are you at that stage in life, James, where the taste of bitter has become nice to you? I'm not at that stage in life yet. Just ugh. What is with that straight? Why just not use a runway? Is this your first time seeing the Is this your first time seeing the Mexican layout? Yeah, it's because it's a very unique circuit. This has it's the highest altitude circuit we go to in the calendar. So the air is very thin. So the top speeds that they achieve here, like down the main straight with DRS and a tow, they get up to like 235 miles an hour. I think the highest speeds we've ever achieved in F1 have been at this circuit. So yeah, chat is a little bit laggy. It is a little bit laggy on the screen. It shouldn't be, hopefully, in the YouTube chat. And in the if you're on Twitch. How long until quality starts? On the hour, Violet. On the hour. So we have less than 10 minutes. Less than 10 minutes. You did some Beam MG vids today. That is, do you know what? That is something that I keep saying it to myself. I want to try out other sims. I want to try out ACC. I want to have a little bit more of a delve into Assetto Corsa again, into some of the mods and things like that. I just don't get the time. I don't get the time. Working full time, I come home. I'm doing a longer journey to and from work now, since I've moved flat, and I don't know. I feel like I just want to dive into iRacing every time I get home, rather than just dive into one of those. But maybe I have to try and put some time aside just to have a little bit of a go and diverse the content a little bit. Didn't you guys in England move to more civil measurements like metric? Yeah. Well, we did and we didn't. We still use what's the other one? Can't remember. But we still use like feet, stone. Yeah, we still kind of use feet and inches, Celsius rather than Fahrenheit and stuff. So imperial, that's it, imperial. So we kind of use it and we don't. We use a mixture. We use a mixture. He was going to do the 2030 fixed race, but quali. Yeah. I think quali's going to be interesting. Look, we all expect Max to get pole. That's a given. But behind him's interesting. I generally can't tell who's going to be lining up alongside him and just behind him. I did read somewhere that Toto said Hamilton's fast lap in quali was enough to put him, like, if he didn't, I think he made a mistake in turn 4, which his engineer said where he was losing time was turn 4 and 5. He made a mistake through turn 4, and if he didn't do that, he would have been P2. So I think Hamilton's got enough to line up alongside Max today, so we'll see. Using your job, whichever measurement is closest, yeah. I mean, I work in construction and we use like millimeters everywhere, pretty much. Everything's in millimeters or meters, so. 8 minutes till quality, yeah, under 10 minutes, under 10 minutes. Aston did finish effing up Alonso's car, though. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I haven't checked to see if he's running the new upgrades. So they brought new upgrades to Kota last week, and they were all bolted onto Stroll's car. Alonso conveniently was told to retire the car because of floor damage, because he was using an old floor, or like the older floor, the current floor, rather than the latest one. So that's why Stroll had a good performance last week from the back of the grid. But I don't know if Alonso's... I don't know if it's only been a week between races. I don't know if Alonso's got those upgrades for this race. So we'll see. I've got a feeling... So this is... If anyone listened to the Missed Apex podcast last week, I've got a conspiracy theory. How much of a conspiracy theory it is, guys, I don't know. But I think it's a genuine theory that Lance Stroll has had a poor season. No doubt about it. He's had particularly... very poor last few races. Binned it, obviously losing his temper, pushing his personal trainer, not making it through to Q3. Alonso in Circuit of the Americas last week was the first time all year he hasn't made it through to Q3. Now you think about that. We're in what? The 19th, 18th race of the season? That's like... I didn't even realise that was a stat, but Alonso had made it through to Q3 every single race. Now, to give Lance Stroll, who is obviously baby Stroll, Daddy Stroll is the owner of the team, to give him some good PR and to give him some confidence moving into next season and for the end of this season, they have pinned back Alonso's performance. I think the indication of Lance Stroll getting the upgrades first this time around is quite evident of that. Getting Alonso to retire because of a convenient floor issue last week meant that Stroll finished in the points and finished 9th, while starting from the back, obviously from the pit lane. Up until that point, Alonso was 2 places ahead of Stroll. So I think there's some skullduggery occurring on Alonso's side of the garage to ensure that Stroll builds up some confidence and finishes ahead of Alonso, who has had a very good season. So Stroll was personally scrubbing Alonso's tyres before that. It may be. Evening, Richard. Good to see you. Good to see you, James. Hope you're doing well, everyone. Cheers. Love for Lewis to beat Max in a fight either at Brazil. Yeah, you'd love to see. I mean, that's what kind of we were robbed of last week. We were robbed of a finish in the end. Last couple of laps between those two because of a number of circumstances. So, heard Alonso upgrades made the car worse and wanted to go back. I bet Alonso's plank was fucked. I doubt that was the case, James. I doubt that was the case. I've become very cynical the older I get. If Lance's dad would be more like Jos Verstappen, we wouldn't have to deal with that because he would be sitting at a random gas station. Yeah. Risk of rain is 10%. It is a 46-degree track temperature. Very high, guys. Very high. What was really intriguing was Carlos Sainz used five soft tyres in the practice free session, which was very odd. That was a lot. Probably, James. Yeah, oh yeah, probably. Yeah, probably. Oh, mate, there's so many conspiracy theories out there. I could go on and on. We should meet up for a pint, mate, because we could spend all night talking about conspiracy theories. I love it. Mark. Yeah, he's not. I will say, Jos is a very peculiar character. The Timo Glock conspiracy is annoying. That's not a conspiracy. The Glock conspiracy isn't annoying. Sorry, it is annoying. It's not true. The Timo Glock conspiracy isn't true. There's more logical conspiracies than the Timo Glock one. Moon landing. Yes, I've flipped and flopped in regards to the moon landing one. I've really flipped and flopped on that one. Height for Albano this weekend? Yeah, me too. I just hope it's true. I just hope it's proper relative pace. I think it is. Fingers crossed. I think Albano is truly in the hunt for a top 5 at least this weekend. Helmut Marko and Jos Verstappen. Oh my god, you probably get well, yeah. You definitely get a certain type of character. Not many countries are run by idiots like England. Well, a lot of them are. Jordan. A lot of the countries in the world are run by idiots. It's amazing how many are these days. There's not many countries that like their leaders. I think is safe to say. Not to delve too much into politics, but yeah, the world's a funny place at the moment, and it's that's what sport is there for. Sport is here for us to have that escape from our working lives, from the day-to-day goings on, and provide hopefully some positive in everyone's life. Because that's what we want. That's what we look for in sport. That's what we look forward to the weekends for. And as we say that, qualifying is underway for the Mexico Grand Prix as Magnussen is first out of the pit lane. Yeah, James, definitely, mate. Yeah, definitely hit me up. Definitely hit me up. Yeah, we're heading to town or something, mate. Mazepin started... Well, I think, Malta, I think with that, I think he probably didn't because he lost his seat and got banned from sport. So if he did, it backfired. Oh, no, Mark, no. Liz is the reason my mortgage is at 6%. She came in, her and her chancellor, I can't remember what his name was, came in, tanked the economy, pushed interest rates up, pushed mortgages up, and went, see you later. Anywho. Yeah, James, I'm since I've moved here, I'm loving this area. Yeah, I really am. It's just there's so much more going on. Like I travel back to where I came from every working day, kind of, and I am kind of like, oh, why am I still moving? Why am I still like traveling back to where I grew up, basically? Which I don't have like any main issues with, but I'm a little bit like I moved over this way to get away from there. So yeah, it'd be nice to spend more weekdays this way. But anyway. You'll come back when Q1 finishes. No worries. Right, predictions, guys. Let's have our predictions in the chat. Welcome, everyone, this evening. Hope you are doing well. Welcome to the Mexican GP, Mexico City GP qualifying. So, who do we think, as we always predict here, who do we think are going to be the 5 to get knocked out in Q1? I'm going to say the two Haas's, unfortunately for them, the two Haas's, I do think, sticking to my conspiracy, that Fernando Alonso is going to get knocked out of this qualifying session. And I'm going to say Logan Sargent. Even though that Williams is doing really well in Albon's hands, I think Logan Sargent is out. So I think the two Haas's... That's still one left, isn't it? Alonso, Sargent... Oh, I don't know. Fuck it. Stroll. 2 Aston Martins, 2 Haas's, and Sargent. That's what I'm going for. Albon P1, Jimmy. Albon P1. Here's hoping. As Magnussen goes in with a 1:19.73. So for perspective, guys, the fastest lap time in P3 was by Verstappen, and that was a 1:17.8, which Albon also set as well. Less than a tenth separating those two. So that's kind of what you're looking at time-wise for pole position later on, is in the 1:17s. A 1:19 for me is not quick enough to get through Q. Wow, we are seeing some medium tyres coming out here, guys. Medium compound tyres coming out for Q1 on the McLarens and the Mercedes. Now that is interesting. That is very, very interesting. We'll see if that works out or not for him. But that is an intriguing one. Right, Lance Stroll coming across the last corner and across the start line. A 1:20. So my guess so far is looking good. How about Alonso? Can he out-qualify his teammate thus far? He can. 4 tenths. So we think Zhou, Magnussen, Ricciardo, Tsunoda, and Stroll. Zhou. Hey, John. Good to see you again, buddy. Welcome all the way from DC. Throw out both AlphaTauris. Oh, a bit of a mix and match. This is the thing. Like, no one kind of really knows which way this is going to go. No one knows who's going to go out. No one knows, well, apart from Max, no one kind of knows the order. It is a bit of a topsy-turvy. The practice sessions have been a bit topsy-turvy, to be honest. South Africa. Do they win? Does South Africa win? Back-to-back World Cups, isn't it? I know New Zealand were down to 14 men, so. What is the state of the tyre allocations? I actually don't know. They don't announce those tyre allocations until before the race tomorrow. So I don't know what the teams have brought. So we'll see. Yeah, the practice sessions have been a bit odd in regards to tyre usage. So I think there might be a varying... I'm hoping there's varying strategy used tomorrow. Because that's kind of the only thing that makes Mexico interesting. Hate to say it, but the track is a bit boring. As Hamilton, interestingly enough, on the medium compound tyre, guys, has gone fastest in the first sector. Wow. Keep an eye out on Lewis. How does that medium tyre work through the middle sector? As he goes through turn 9, through the S's, 9, 10 and 11. Maybe he's benefiting from the tow from Norris in front, which has helped him with that purple sector in P1, in sector 1. He's set a 34.94, which is, well, 3 tenths slower than Verstappen, who is using the soft compound tyre. So definitely slower, as to be expected, than Max on the medium. But that is a interesting first sector from Lewis there. Here we go. Here, as Norris doesn't even set a lap on the medium, and Hamilton goes third. So 6 tenths, 7 tenths, oh no, 6 tenths pretty much slower than Max there. Russell goes 7 or 8 tenths pretty much slower than Hamilton. But that was an interesting first sector there. I imagine Hamilton was benefiting from the tow. Norris is straight into the pits onto the off of the mediums, probably onto a set of softs. But yeah, intrigued that they've used the medium. Maybe just trying to look after those tyres, maybe wanting to use them tomorrow, or just keep a brand new set for the latter stages of this session. Hey, Silent, Mexico is very difficult for the drivers, not because of the track, because of the thinness of the air. Yeah, mate, not necessarily generally because of on the body, but more so on the cars. It'll be interesting to see if we see any tactics being applied here. Obviously, look at Tsunoda and Ricciardo. Looks like Tsunoda's giving Danny Rick a bit of a tow here, as Tsunoda has already set a lap time. So Tsunoda is going to get out of the way and tow Danny Rick down that very long main straight into T1. So yeah, we are going to see the tow being used here. Maybe some team tactics. But lots of cars out on track at the moment. No one really waiting around. Let's see if Hamilton goes for another lap. As look, because of that tow from Yuki Tsunoda, Danny Rick has gone purple in the first sector. So obviously we'll lose time through the middle sector. But that is really beneficial, having a teammate just break that thinness of the air down the main straight. So Hamilton is going for another lap, but this time around won't have the benefit of the tow from Lando Norris. So see Lewis's time. Lewis... Okay, so Lewis is on another lap. Lewis is on probably another wind-up lap. Oh, no, he isn't. Sorry, bit of a delay there with the first sector. So 27.8. So he is on another push lap. We'll see if he can improve. Only a couple of tenths slower than his last first sector, as Ricciardo goes second. Only 2.5 tenths slower than Verstappen there. That is how beneficial the tow is. Look at that. Fastest in the last sector, Danny Rick. Now, that is intriguing. Because Danny Rick, obviously the last sector is the tightest, slowest sector on this circuit. And well, that is very beneficial as Logan Sargent goes fastest through the first sector. So is the track ramping up maybe as well? Is there a bit of like track evolution occurring here? Or did he just benefit from the tow from someone behind? This is going to be a lot of flip-flopping here. A lot of flip-flopping. Let's see how Lewis seems to have got stuck behind Sainz. Yep, he has, I think. I think Lewis has got stuck behind Sainz. That was a very slow middle sector. So he's had to back out of this lap and is most likely going to come into the pits. Yes, he is, yeah. So Lewis was on a fast lap, on a push lap, but he got held up by Sainz in that middle sector. Let's keep an eye out on Sargent. Sargent is a bit slow in the second sector, but fastest in the first. Let's see where he puts himself. Oof. Only into P16. Only into P16. Very, very slow from Logan Sargent. He was 7/10 slower if you put it in comparison to Leclerc in P3 through that middle sector. And then he was also a second. Oh, wow. Yeah, he's had a massive, massive issue in the stadium section, Sargent. 21.7. That's almost 1.5 seconds slower than Leclerc and Sainz and others of the like, really. So he's had a big, big lock-up somewhere, most likely. And gone wide through the last sector. See, to me, that's just evident of Sargent this season. Like, he should be capitalising on that there, on that purple first sector, and putting himself in an opportunity to get through. Yeah, look, track limits for Sargent at turn 12, which is the entrance to the stadium. So, yeah, a silly mistake from him there means that he's now P19. Pole position is probably one of the weakest positions on this circuit, because of the toe from behind, because of the run down into T1. You are very vulnerable. Now, last year the Mercedes didn't really implement enough tactics to box Verstappen in. They didn't really work together. There was an opportunity for them to block Max off or shut Max out of T1, pretty much. And they didn't do that. We've seen it in the past. Starting from P1 is not really desirable because of that long run down into T1. So I still expect Max to be comfortable no matter what. Like, let's say Max starts P1 and he loses that position down into the first corner. He's got the car underneath him to easily breeze past as soon as the DRS is allowed to be opened. So, yeah. It's more so about behind him. Yeah, Norris is coming out now. So Norris, obviously, they're waiting to the latter stages of this session. He's probably coming out on a set of soft tyres. I don't expect him to be out on the mediums. Looks like he's coming out on a brand new set. Piastri is out on a set of softs. So is Norris. So, yeah. They'll definitely be... That's why they were waiting. I think they thought maybe let's go out on a set of medium tyres. Let's see if you can set a lap. And Norris has probably reported, no, I can't do that. So they've just waited. But they're leaving it. I mean, it's risky. I mean, the track is evolving. I mean, look, Albon hasn't really set a proper time yet. Caught up in traffic. He's now out as well. We'll see. It's still definitely a lot to play for. Russell's at risk. I'd definitely say Hamilton is still at risk. He's going to have to come back out and use a set of softs. But I think it was just for them to be able to save a set of softs. But I reckon look, Danny Rick has set the second fastest time. And AlphaTauri is second. No one is safe here, not even Max. Max would be at risk if he was to stay within the pits. Max will weave from pole down to T1 in the race. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. It'll be interesting. Now Logan's ready to win, yeah. Oh. Logan Sargent really hitting the curbs through the S's and saying, please check the floor. And guys, as the lovely Mrs., my biggest cheerleader, the Mrs. Stuffey, has said, we were only a few away from 14,000 subscribers, and we have now reached that. 14,001 to be exact. So a big, big thank you to you guys. Another milestone achieved. And yeah, onwards and upwards, guys. Big thank you to everyone who's been supporting the channel with these watch-alongs and the other form of content as well. Yeah, another step closer to this becoming a job one day. I think the clear puddle. Nothing wrong with being a Ferrari fan, Simon. Nothing wrong with being a Ferrari fan. I think, like, as an F1 fan, look, I like both Leclerc and Sainz, and I do like Ferrari. I don't love them, but I like Ferrari, and I'd love to see them back up fighting for a world championship, a drivers championship, and a constructors championship, because I feel like they're a team that F1 is in a good place when they're like, no team has the God-given right to be fighting for wins and fighting for... Oh, Verstappen. In pit exit incident involving Verstappen. Noted. I'm intrigued to see what this was for. I mean, he won't be given a penalty, let's be honest. It's Max, so... When it comes to impeding, he's never given a penalty. But but I think when it comes to Max, sorry, not when it comes to, when it comes to Ferrari, no team is given the God-given right to be able to fight for wins and fight for championships. But they are a team. There are certain teams, there's certain individuals in the world when it comes to their sport. But the sport is just in a good place, and it's in a competitive place when they're fighting for wins and championships and stuff. And I think Ferrari is like that. So, also George Russell pit exit incident noted. So I wonder if that is just them holding for the guys driving down the start lane. But just waiting to see this incident from Verstappen. It hasn't come up on my screen just yet. But at the moment, Piastri is in P2, a 1:18.2. Danny Rick still in the pit lane, believe it or not. So maybe they think he's suitable. Hamilton pushing to get this, obviously, lap started. He's not on a fly. He's on his out lap at the moment. But look at that back up there. Is anyone on a flying lap out of Albon and Sainz? Yes, they were. I think no, maybe not. Maybe not. Oh, Verstappen's incident will be investigated after the session. So Russell letting people through to preparing for his lap. So will anyone, Danny Ricciardo, they think they've got enough to get through. That is amazing, isn't it? Amazing. Also, Alonso being investigated after the race as well, impeding. Lots of impeding happening here. Could be some penalties dished out retrospectively. Alonso is stopped. Out of turn 3. What has happened to Alonso? Is this going to bring out he will lose the McLaren of Lando Norris, who is starting his lap? I am awaiting to see if there will be a red flag, but Alonso is definitely stopped on the circuit or just off the circuit. DRS has been disabled through zone 3, so that will affect the drivers. Albon reporting tyres have completely gone. They're reporting clear. Alonso has got going again. No. Has he? Yes. No. The stewards don't know what to do. But DRS was disabled in zone 3. I wonder if Norris was able to get that or not. But, oh my days, this could affect Norris. Could we be seeing the McLaren of Lando Norris go out of Q1 due to that yellow flag from Fernando Alonso stopping? There's lots of, obviously, drivers being investigated for impeding. George Russell as well. Lando Norris is being chased by Tsunoda here, and he's being held up by George Russell, who is on a flying lap as well. Oh, it is absolute chaos out there on the circuit. Lando could be going out in Q1. He's currently P20. I think Lando's been held up by George. Lando is out of Q1. That's it. Not going to be able to improve. Lando's out. P20. Wow. Lando is out. P20 for the McLaren. Wow. Oh my God. Alonso has just absolutely screwed over his old team, particularly Lando there. And Lance Stroll is out. Sargent is out. Magnussen out. Ocon out. Wow. Wow. Mate, conspiracy. Alonso did this to screw Stroll over in protest of having to retire. Yep, you heard it here first, guys. You heard it here first. Oh my God. What? So I got Magnussen, Stroll and Sargent correct, but I did not guess Norris of all people and Ocon. Wow. And of course, it's not over and done with. There are 3 cars being investigated for impeding: Alonso, Russell and Verstappen as well. And it was a big spin from Alonso, but why did he stop? So Alonso lost it on the curb on the exit of turn 3, right? Then he's on. Then he spun it round. But why did he wait so long? Did he stall the car? Mate, I tell you what, right. So, if Max, do you remember back in Singapore? Oh, mate. Oh, mate. Right, so Verstappen and George have basically just held. Okay, so, right. George and Max, do you remember what Max did at Singapore? Does anyone remember? And they said we should have penalised him for it. He got a reprimand, but they said it should have been a penalty. It should have been a penalty. I tell you what, they came out afterwards and said it should have been a penalty. That is a slam dunk for both George and Max. That's a slam dunk. That's got to be a slam dunk penalty for Max and George. If it is a penalty, if it's another reprimand, for both of them, I'll tell you what, for both of them, you know I like Mercedes, you know I like George. But for both of them, if that's not a penalty, I don't know. After admitting he should have been given a penalty for doing that in Singapore. So they basically just stopped at the end of the pit lane mark and held up loads of cars behind them. And in Singapore, he got a reprimand for it. And they said, retrospectively, he should have been given a penalty for it. He got a reprimand for both that and the Tsunoda, holding up Tsunoda out on track. And they said he should have received a penalty for both of them in retrospect. So if they stick to their word, then both of them deserve slam dunk penalties there. Yeah, they changed every race, so no guarantees, but to me, that's a penalty for both of them. So, in the micro sectors, Alonso had a very poor exit out the last turn. Knew he wasn't going to improve, so he stopped and screwed everyone behind him. Yeah, so the TV coverage haven't showed Alonso like staying where he is on the curb there. I get there were cars coming through, and maybe he was like, I can't turn round, because he was facing the other way. He was facing back towards turn 3. But it does seem to be that he waited there a very long time before he was able to get going again. So it makes me think he stalled the car. Hamilton, Lewis is also being investigated for failing to slow under. I'll tell you what, the stewards are going to be busy. Just wait, guys, because this final, whatever the qualifying is, whatever the standings are at the end of Q3, guarantee you it won't be the final standings. Probably going to have to wait a good half hour to an hour after the session's completed to find out what the actual grid is for tomorrow. Wow. I know, well, that's what they do, Mark. They don't dish out the penalties now. Because they also allow teams to come and speak to them to explain themselves. But I think sometimes some penalties are slam dunk. So lots of replays to look at. Yes, very lots of replays to look at. Oh God. Good guy Alonso holding his brakes like in Formula V. Also, I mean, come on, give Sargent a break. He's already P20. For some reason, his lap time's been deleted, so he can't. He can't. Don't give him another penalty. Come on, he's already bottom. Michael, thank you for the sub, buddy. Much appreciated. Sargent and Tsunoda noted overtaking under yellow flags. Wow, they are busy. I've never seen so many incidents. Look at this, look, on the left. Crazy. Red Vasura is saying it's stupid and a mess. Which rookie got me excited in FP1? I didn't see it, to be honest. I don't think any of them had that much of an opportunity. I was interested to see Teo Porcher, but unfortunately he got 4 laps, and then the Alpha was just like, yeah, terrible. Obviously, he had to stay in the pits and be repaired. So, yeah, no one really excited me, I'd say. Sargent got his time deleted, yes. Incident involving Russell Norris show will be failure to follow the race director's instructions, maximum delta time. We know that's never penalised anyway, so you can ignore that. But wow, what an absolute mess of Q1, guys. An absolute mess. Who knows what the final standings are going to be here. It's multi-viewer, Riley. Multi-viewer. Thanks, Tim. Thank you, buddy. No, welcome. Thanks for tuning in. And thank you to all of you who are here. Currently just over 90 viewers. So 90 viewers and only 26 likes. Come on, guys. You can hit the like button. And incident. Why are they reporting that again? Incident involving car 44 under investigation, failing to slow on the yellow flags. Well, look, yeah, they've already made note of Lewis's incident there. So I don't know why they've like made note of it again. Sargent's not a happy boy. Well, look, you've got a car this week that could probably get you in the top 10 and you're 20th. Guy's really not doing anything for him securing a seat next year, is he? What's my largest view count, live view count? I had the Singapore Grand Prix this year. We had over 3,000 viewers concurrent. It's the largest I've ever had. And I had an average of over 2,500 viewers, I think 2,000. So yeah, generally the Asian races and the European races I get a larger viewership because it falls right in the middle of like the day for most, like it falls right in the middle of the day for everyone basically. So for the Asian viewership, it's like evening. For the American viewership, it's in the morning, and then Europe obviously it's in the afternoon. Whereas like evening races for me, the Asian viewership in particular is all asleep right now. So yeah, the viewership drops a little bit, but still get a good amount of you tune in to see some regular faces. So yeah, no, I enjoy doing them regardless. Yeah, I'll try and make every session that I can, Jordan. That's the thing. Like I'm realistic with what I can do. I try and at least make all the qualifying sessions and the races. Sometimes, obviously, the F1 season's large now. It's a very big calendar. So, yeah, even if I was even if I wasn't doing this and I was just choosing to watch the races at the weekend, there would be certain races I'd miss because I'd go and do something with the boys or the missus and things like that. So, that's the problem with an ever-increasing calendar in F1. But hey-ho. Hey-ho. I love it. Who do you think will get Sargent seat? I don't know, Lily. I really don't. We had this discussion earlier on. I don't know what Williams want. Sargent, I think, brings in quite a bit of American sponsorship, being the only American driver on the grid. I don't know if maybe they're trying stay down that avenue and get a popular IndyCar driver, someone who's familiar with the American market, as Max does a 17.6. That's the quickest time we've seen today. He was a 17.8 in P3. Ricciardo getting a tow from Sonoda again down into T1, so keep an eye out on his lap time. Ricciardo seems to be on form here. AlphaTauri looks very good of a race car this weekend. Yeah, I really don't know. I don't know. Are they going to go for another rookie? I mean, they seem to be making headway with their development, heading in the right direction. Look at what Sargent's doing. Albon's proving that car does have potential to score points at certain tracks this year. Can possibly do that next year. Obviously, Albon, we were saying, a more experienced driver will be better for your team because they'll be able to provide better feedback to the engineers and to dissect the data. So I don't know. I just don't think he's going to secure that seat for next year. He's cost them too much money already and just doesn't seem to be improving. He seems to be going backwards. With all these potential penalties, the grid could be reversed. Yes, exactly. Exactly. You can't do that with an underperforming rookie. Exactly. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. So, I mean, Sargent wasn't really, like, amazing in F2 in the junior formulas. He was okay. So, I mean, he did perform under pressure to secure those super license points when he needed it, especially in the last race. But other than that, I mean, has he really, like, had that wow performance this year even? I don't think he has. I don't think he has. There's not been a performance where I've gone, wow, what a drive from Sargent. What a drive. I feel like every other rookie's kind of had that. So, Danny has had pole here before, hasn't he? I think so, yeah, I think so. Roman Groves on return? No. Hopefully not. What is Kvyat doing nowadays? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe Kvyat's a good opportunity. So why do they keep bringing up Hamilton failing to slow under yellow flags? Why does that keep being chucked in our face? We get it. Is that because Lewis Hamilton's a role model? But Danny Rick, by the way, P3. Only just under 4 tenths slower than Max, obviously with the help of a toe from his teammate, Sonoda. So let's see if Danny Rick is able to return the favour to Yuki. So let's have a look. So Russell and Hamilton, an 18-3 and... Wow, only 18-3 from them, whereas Bottas has done an 18-2. I didn't see if Bottas got the toe from Zhou. I assume he probably did. Bit of gamesmanship playing here. Let's see how the Ferraris are 8 and 9th as well, so they're not doing too well. Sonoda, of course, didn't set a lap time, giving the toe to Danny Rick. Alonso currently P14. Albon only 11th. Come on, Albon. Where's that time gone? Where has that pace gone from the Williams? P2 in 2 practice sessions this week. Why are you 11th? That is intriguing. 1.5 seconds behind. Crying that he's raising his child. Yeah, that's if it wasn't bad enough that he's the lad who took his seat, took his race seat, and then takes his woman and takes it. Yeah, that's a weird setup, isn't it? To be honest. I still don't know how this second session is going to play out. This is really unpredictable. The toe, I mean, the Mercedes aren't going to sacrifice one car to go for the toe. Apparently, Charles Leclerc reported he had no tyres left at the end of the lap, and that was on an old set of tyres. What's not good for Russell and Hamilton is that they was on a brand new set. I mean, yeah, maybe busy, maybe. Albon flatters to deceive, in your opinion? Really? Verstappen will get a reprimand. Right, so I assume they're all going to come out on a brand new set of tyres. Sonoda was on, obviously, 6-lap old tyres. Alonso was on old tyres. Yeah, Albon is reporting there's no way there's damage or something. It's got to be. It's got to be. The car is definitely performing so different compared to earlier. There's something going on. There's no way that car is 1.5 seconds slower than the front. Hang on. George and Hamilton both saying their rear tyres are dead by the end of the lap. Yeah, no, we'll have... the guys will probably come out about another minute or so. 4 minutes, 3 minutes left. Mercedes and Ferrari make you emotionally unstable, Carla. Yeah, they make a lot of people like that as well. But the thing is, Bottas and Ricciardo, like, it's good qualifying for them, but come the race, they'll just drop way back down the pack. They won't be up there. That's for sure. Danny Rick is looking scary. Yeah. I mean, he's definitely doing some good to try and... imagine he out-qualifies Perez. I didn't even think of that. What if he out-qualifies Perez? I wonder if they're just going to sacrifice Yuki to give Danny Rick a toe again. Can't be. Surely Danny Rick's got enough to get through. We'll see.
Yes.
Anything is possible. Anything is possible, yeah. So, especially in the Dutch interview, that he would stop after the 2028 season because they asked him if he would drive a season like this for a bad season with 3 times his salary. And he said it was signed at last year's 2029 for 3 times his salary. I don't know. I think Max will stay in F1 as long as it's interesting. Like, how old would he be in 2029? He'll be, what? That's 6 years from now. He'll be 30? How old is he now? 31, 32? He'll be my age. So, he wants to be in interesting races as long as the buzz is there and the intrigue is there for him. Like, he wants to win, but it's the manner in which he win. Like, that's what I've always said. Like, it's I can only compare it to sim racing. And there's been times when I've been in a split or I've been in like a race with people where I am quite evidently the fastest driver by a considerable margin. I've qualified on pole and then I've won the race by 20, 30 odd seconds. And I tell you what, it's not enjoyable. It isn't enjoyable. Like, I'm not racing for a world championship and stuff, but you got to look at it from his perspective. He's got 3 under his belt now. He won, obviously, that like peak season of 2021, regardless of how it ended. It was like the nature of it, the emotions, the level of racing. And then, of course, 2022 was probably like a sigh of relief for him because it was his second championship and it was a lot more straightforward for him. And then this year it's been more of the same in 2022 and he's like, a bit bored. Like, I'm going to these races and I'm not fighting anyone. Like, I at least want to fight people. Like, he'd probably prefer starting from the pit lane every single race so that he gets some enjoyment out of doing the last to first challenge. So, like, it's all relative. Obviously, he's been in F1 for so many years. And if that continues, then it's not something that he wants to do. And I totally sympathise with him. So, Tsunoda giving Danny Rick a toe again. So, Tsunoda is being sacrificed down into T1. So, Tsunoda is going to have to try and do his best here to recover. Oh, no. So, we'll see if I think Tsunoda's been used as a sacrificial lamb here for Danny Rick. But Danny Rick does seem to be the quicker driver. And yes, Tsunoda is going to be qualifying in 15th position because he's just let Bottas go past. Oh, that's got to hurt Tsunoda. But it makes it interesting for us neutrals, for Danny Ricciardo or any Danny Ricciardo fan. Let's see what he's able to do. He seems to be slower through Sector 1 than he was in the previous lap that he set. Verstappen is not coming out, so they think Verstappen has plenty in the tank to get through. I have to agree. The intriguing one's going to be Albon. I really want to see Albon improve. Come on, Albono. Let's keep an eye on Albon and keep one eye on Danny Rick as well as he's coming through the stadium section. But Albon heading down to T1 as Leclerc breaks that 118 barrier. Russell, intriguingly enough, purple in the second sector, but can he keep those rear tyres alive through that last sector where he is saying they are falling off? Danny Rick, fastest in the last sector. Once again, the tightest, slowest sector. He is fastest. And he's only less than a tenth slower than Verstappen. But Russell goes ahead of the AlphaTauri of Danny Rick. What is happening this evening? What is happening? Hamilton, fastest in the second sector as well. Can Hamilton keep his rear tyres alive and jump ahead of his teammate or even Max into P1? Here he goes, round the last corner. And he goes first. So Hamilton is currently P1 in Q2. Of course, Verstappen didn't come out for a second lap. But maybe some track evolution here. Track temperature cooling a touch. 44 degrees now rather than 46. Come on, Albon. Come on, the boy. Come on. Come on, Albon. Round the last corner. Turn 17. Oh, sneaks into P9. Is that enough for him? Is anyone else still out there setting a lap time? No. Albon, for the skin of his teeth, is through into Q3. And we have lost the Alfa Romeo of Guan Yu Zhou. Gasly in the Alpine, Hulkenberg, Alonso, and Tsunoda. Whew. But Danny Rick, P4. P4, only 1/10 slower than Hamilton. But now Ricciardo will not get the benefit of the tow from Tsunoda down into turn 1. However, Danny Rick has been consistently fastest in that last sector. He seems to come alive through the stadium section. Unbelievable. Oh, is Yuki starting from the pit lane? Is he? I didn't even realise. How old am I, Mort? I am 32. I know I don't look it. Speaking of it, I'm in a split. Try to rookie over race today on pole. Exactly, James. It is boring. It is boring. So I mean, look at it from an F1 perspective. Like, Lewis said it consistently throughout the years he was winning. I want teams to come closer. I hope they develop better and we have some fights. Like, that's what they are. They're races. They're racers. They get a buzz from going wheel to wheel or chasing someone down and making that overtake or defending someone. And that's what they want. Obviously, from a business perspective, Red Bull love the fact that they're winning every single race and winning it by 30, 40 odd seconds. But yeah, from racers' perspective, not so much. Oh, Tsunoda has a new Frankenstein. Fair enough. That's why it's been used. I didn't realise. That is, yeah, understandable. Science giving you PTSD P10. Yeah, he just got through. You was almost right, James, but not close enough because Albon is there in P9. Right. So, what do we think? I'm not going to include Max because I think we know who's going to be on pole position. But I'm going to go for who is your next pole. Because even though Hamilton was first there, Max didn't go out and set another time. So, who will be in P2 is what I'm going to run a poll just now. So, is it going to be Hamilton? Is it going to be Russell? Is it going to be Piastri, the only McLaren remaining, guys? Or, believe it or not, will it be Danny Rick? Danny Rick, where has he come from? Let me know what you guys think. If I am Max, I'll be taking a new engine just to get a penalty. Did Sainz not do a second lap in Q2? He did, I think. Oh no! Albon's had his lap time deleted! No! Oh no! No! Oh, bugger. I've just seen that. Albon in P14, track limits at turn 12, entering the stadium section. Ah. Damn it. So Guan Yu Zhou is up into P10. You was right, James. You was right. Sadly. Yes, sadly. No. You don't think Max will get pole because why do you want pole? True, true. I mean, pole position is probably like, it's probably the one place where I wouldn't want, if I was a fan of any driver, I wouldn't want them to get pole. Because pole position is like the weakest place to be. You want to be P2 or even P3. It's a bit like Russia, Sochi. P3 is probably the better position to be in, where you can just slipstream past the P1. If stewards do punish Verstappen and Russell, normally impeding is a 3-place grid penalty. So let's say Max qualified first, he would be in P4. What happened to Tsunoda? Well, we're just finding out that Tsunoda was giving Danny Rick the toe. Turns out he's starting from the pit lane tomorrow. Oh, it was turn 2. So he cut the corner. Remember I said that the... Remember I said turn 2. I don't think I said it in the practice session. Turn 2, the chicane, they're cutting it. You can get all 4 wheels within the bollard they've got there and the white line, and he just cut. He's saying he turned all 4 wheels. They're saying all 4 wheels were over. However, Albon's disputing it and saying no. And well, believe it or not, guys, we are in the most technologically advanced sport in the world. And we are still using TV cameras and certain camera angles to determine whether a car is inside or outside of the white lines. I mean, how many sensors does an F1 car have on it? And can they not put a few extra at certain corners so that they can determine whether cars go outside of track limits, you know? They don't. They don't have sensors for it, Siam, believe it or not. You would think so, but they don't. It is all done via TV camera angles. It's like VAR. Trying to draw a line at an angle that's like well behind the last defender. Like it's ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. Like, how can they not have sensors at? Because it's definitely they don't have to put sensors at every corner, right? They just have to put sensors at certain corners where track limits are breached. And yeah, it's just the fact of that they don't do that is ridiculous, really. Pole P1 was on the wrong side of the track in Austin. Yes, however, P1 here, the reason why it's weak is because of the length of distance between the start line to the first corner. It is a fair way. I think it's the longest after Barcelona. And because of the air being very thin, the toe, obviously the top speed you get, actually no, it's the other way around, isn't it? DRS is affected, but the toe isn't so much. It's the, I don't know. But yeah, but basically starting in P1 is not always preferable here. Oh, exactly, Simon. Exactly. Come on, Danny. Yeah, we are rooting for Danny Rick here into Q3 for the first time since he came back into F1. So the intriguing factor here for Danny Rick is, can he out-qualify Perez? Can he out-qualify the driver who he is trying to replace, who he is aiming for? Let's see. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Let's see if Perez gets P10 in his home Grand Prix. What, the best car on the grid? Well, yeah. Well, we know it's not the best car on the grid in his hands. That's the difference. That is the difference. Mexican Minister of Defense, not disgrace. So, let's see. Well, the thing is with Perez is that he's most likely going to catch traffic. I think he's going to catch the back of Hamilton and Russell. You think he'll out-qualify Perez, Piastri and Bottas? Yeah, I mean, the thing is to Hamilton is that he will be getting the toe from Russell. I imagine he'll fall back a little bit from Russell so that he doesn't get affected by the dirty air too much, because otherwise, if he's too close, he's going to lose time through like this sector now and last, and through the stadium sector. But we'll see. So let's keep an eye on Danny Rick as he is on his flying lap. Bottas sneakily is going to be getting a toe from Danny Rick. So Danny Rick, he has been pretty quick through the first sector. So 27.599, about 2 tenths slower than Max. Understandable without the toe from Sonoda. But he has been supreme, Danny Rick, in the last sector here as he heads through the S's in sector 2, 7, then through 8, then through 9. Sainz fastest through the first sector without a toe, interestingly enough, as Perez sets the benchmark of a 17.7. Verstappen losing out on the purple sector in the middle to Danny Ricciardo in the AlphaTauri. Go on, Danny Rick. Max goes in with a 17.2, a phenomenal time there. But Danny Rick has been supreme through the middle sector and the last sector. How can he out-qualify Perez? He can! Thus far, he is less than a tenth slower on outright pace than Verstappen, behind Verstappen. What a lap! What a lap! As Leclerc has gone purple through the first sector, but he's losing a bit of time as Sainz goes to pole position. Wow, where has that come from, the Ferrari? Leclerc seems to be going quicker than his teammate. Here goes Leclerc across the line and he jumps to first place. Oh my God, it's chopping and changing all over the place. Danny Rick has 2 purple sectors and he's not even first. Piastri only goes 6th. How about George? He's only green in the first and second sector. Hamilton, likewise, looks to be slightly quicker than his teammate. Where can Russell put it? Only 5th. Hamilton, I suspect, will probably go in between him and Danny Rick. Maybe Verstappen. How's his last corner? Oh, he only goes in behind Russell. Danny Rick is currently faster than 2 Mercedes, a Red Bull of Perez, and a McLaren of Piastri, without the help of his teammate with a toe. Wow. Oh my God. Oh my God. But Leclerc and Sainz chucking it in there. P1 and P2. Where has that come from? Where has that come from? From the Ferraris, guys. Wow. Wow. That too in an AlphaTauri. Exactly. Exactly. Apologies. Yes, the Russell and Hamilton were on used tyres. Well spotted. I didn't see that, Mark. Armstrong, I didn't see that. Apologies. So that is interesting. Yes, so Hamilton and Russell still have pace in the bag with a set of new tyres, I assume, to use. Whereas Verstappen, Sainz and Leclerc were all on a brand new set. I imagine they'll still have a brand new set to use, but Russell and Hamilton on a used set. Or at least a scrub set, anyway. They had 1 lap. Of course, we know the rear tyres are taking a bit of a pounding through here. Perez was the same. Perez also was on a used set, so he's got a bit of time in the bank. So let's see what they can do. They brought in 2019 Monza engines. Yeah. Stat, there has been a different pole sitter in each of the last 11 Mexican Grand Prix. Yes, yeah. Just watching Max and... No, Max was fine. Okay, so Max took quite a lot of curb through turn 8 for the S's. So he's saying take a check on the floor to see if the floor is damaged. So Max making a slight misjudgment there on his line through the S's of turn 8. But Ferrari, very, very good laps there. Half a second between number 1st and 5th. Yeah, it's very, very close. It is very close up there, especially with the Mercedes on used tyres and Perez as well. So we're in for a stormer of a qualifying session. This is where, Daniel, you're happy with the position we had in the previous run, not to wait too long at the back of the queue, or do you have a preference? Yeah, I was happy. Danny Rick. This is the Danny Rick we like to see, guys. Yeah, AlphaTauri. Danny Rick asking, can you show me the onboard of Leclerc? He wants to improve. Come on, the boy. But yes, this seems to be very... seems to be an interesting qualifying session. The qualifying sessions are a lot more interesting than the races at the moment, aren't they, guys, to say the least? But yeah. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one. Guys, over 100 of you in the stream. Much appreciated. Welcome. If you're new to this channel, please hit the subscribe button. We'll be back for the race tomorrow. Half an hour before the race starts, wherever you are in the world. It'll be 8 PM UK time the race starts, as Zhou goes slightly a bit faster than his teammate Bottas. But yeah, if you can hit the like button, guys, as we are heading to this last run in Q3, who is going to be on the pole position for the Mexico Grand Prix tomorrow? Of course, there are still some investigations to be had on impeding with Max Verstappen in the pit lane, as well as George Russell and Lewis being investigated for overtaking or not slowing down enough for the yellow flags in Q1. So let's see if anything happens in regards to that. That won't be investigated till after the session has been completed. But let's see who can get there on merit at least. But yeah, if you can hit the like button as we head into this last qualifying run, that'd be much appreciated. Over 100 of you in here now. If we could get to 100 likes for every single one of you here, that'd be marvellous. You're an F1 driver in F1 car. What's an F1 driver inside of the F1 car? So, Leclerc and Sainz out on a brand new set of tyres. The Mercedes, I assume, are going to come out last. They need to come out now, surely, didn't they? Don't they? We'll see. Piastri's on a brand new set. Bottas is on a brand new set. So is Danny Rick. So is Verstappen. And so is Perez. And the Mercedes boys coming out as well. What's interesting is that Russell's going out first and Hamilton is getting the benefit of the toe. Of course, not the maximum benefit because they're not going to sacrifice Russell's lap time for Hamilton's. But it does seem that... Hamilton has been a bit slower than Russell, even by getting the toe. And Lewis and Russell are also out on a brand new set of softs. So it's all to play for here, guys. Definitely some improvements to be made by Perez, Hamilton and Russell. And of course, we know what the Ferraris have done, as well as Verstappen and Ricciardo. But let's see how Piastri can do as well on a brand new set. Let's not rule out the McLaren. Does seem to be a little bit off the pace here compared to the others this weekend. But of course, Piastri proving himself that he's of that contract extension. Let's see what he can do here. So slower, funnily enough, in his first sector than he was previously. So it doesn't look like he's going to improve. I mean, he is green in the second, but I think that is quite a slow lap time from what I've seen from others in the second sector. How can he improve in this last sector? Of course, doing it for McLaren. The only McLaren in Q3 as Lando was out of Q1. Let's see, as he crosses the line, can he improve? He can with a 17.6, but I don't see that being enough really to hold him where he is. And interestingly enough, Leclerc and Sainz also in the yellow compared to previously. Danny Rick has improved, and so has Verstappen on their previous lap times. No purple sector there in sector 1, but they are green. How about Sainz? Sainz slower, so Sainz isn't going to improve. Leclerc also not going to improve. They are suffering in this lap. Ricciardo slower on the second sector as well than he was the previous lap. But of course, we know he's been very good in this last sector. How can he improve at all? No improvement from Sainz or from Ricciardo. How about Leclerc? Perez is improving. Verstappen, of course, is improving. Hooked up that middle sector purple. I think this is going to be inevitably. Perez improves and pushes Piastri and that two Mercedes back. How about Verstappen? If he hooks up this last sector, this is going to be pole position provisionally for him. Of course, still being investigated for and impeding in the pit lane. And no, Verstappen goes third. It's the clear provisional pole, so unless the Mercedes can improve, we have a 1-2 for Ferrari. Verstappen, with a potential three-place grid penalty coming his way for impeding in the pit lane, could be starting from 6th place. But let's see if Russell and Hamilton can push the Red Bull of Verstappen back even further. Hamilton is green in both of his sectors. Russell is slightly down, so let's see if Russell can line up this last sector and improve here, as it is the checkered flag. These are the last two to take the flag. Let's see. Russell doesn't improve, but how about Hamilton? Hamilton is green in both the first and second sector, and he only goes up to 6th place. And there we go. That is a 1-2 for the Ferraris. Where have they pulled that out from? Where have the Ferraris pulled out those lap times in the first Q3 run? And where, I mean, 1-2 for Ferrari. Verstappen only 3rd and possibly starting 6th with a 3-place grid penalty. Of course, Russell also with a potential penalty coming his way. Also, Hamilton, a potential penalty coming his way as well. But, wow. No one improved there apart from Max, I think, slightly, which was intriguing. But that is a surprise. That is a surprise. So that is 12 years in a row where we have had different pole sitters. We haven't had back-to-back pole sitters at this circuit, or 12 times in a row, should we say? Not 12 years in a row. But wow. Wow. I didn't even include. I thought Max was going to get pole position. That's hence why I said who's going to get P2. Wow. So Ferrari, I mean, Mercedes, they're quite evidently their tyres just falling off at the end of the lap, I think. But half a second separating the top 8. Hamilton, so from P6 to P1, there was less than 3 tenths, 2.88 tenths between P6 and P1. So that is very tight. That gap is getting closer. But the interesting thing interesting thing for me is that we have an AlphaTauri in P4. Danny Rick's P4. Splitting Verstappen and Perez. He could be starting P3 tomorrow if Verstappen gets a penalty. Wow. And he's out-qualified Perez. Yeah. But yeah, the qualifying is more exciting than the actual race. I mean, the race tomorrow is going to be interesting because Verstappen's starting 3rd. How will the Ferraris handle this race? Down to T1 is going to be very intriguing, guys. Very intriguing. I mean, look, let's be honest. Max gets a 3-place grid penalty and Danny Rick starts 3rd. Perez starts 4th. It's going to be an interesting start. It's going to be an interesting race. It's going to make it more interesting, let's be honest. So, yeah, Danny Rick. Yes, Danny Rick on fire. P4 without the toe of his teammate, out qualifying Perez. Wow. What a qualifying session. What a qualifying session, guys. You called it, Zed. You called it, yeah. You feel like it was right to call him Mexican Minister of Disgrace. No, I mean, look. I mean, the fact that, I mean, where is the pace come from that AlphaTauri? Unbelievable. Is it not? Are we sure this weekend Danny Rick isn't just driving Perez's Red Bull, but with the AlphaTauri livery on? And then Perez is driving the AlphaTauri with the Red Bull livery on? Are we sure about that? Pray for Ferrari have a good strategy tomorrow. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, I mean, the intriguing thing, as always with Ferrari, is how long do their tyres last? Because we know they eat their tyres alive. So we'll see. We'll see. But Danny Rick, I mean, also, has it been? Is it a bit of a? I mean, look, whether it's a glory run or not, in regards to setting the car up purely for qualifying, is still impressive for him to take a car like the AlphaTauri to P4. But where will he finish tomorrow? Of course, the aim for him is still to just score points. So, but very, very intriguing. Maybe Danny's driving like a guy who already knows he's in a Red Bull next year. Maybe. You know more than you're letting on. I wish I knew more. Race pace still matters for Danny Boy. Of course it does. Of course. Best Ferrari we can hope for is a double podium. I think so. I mean, look, Max starting third. I mean, he still obviously has the overall race pace, I think. But yeah, I mean, the further Max starts down the grid, the more interesting the race always is, because we know how supreme he's been this year. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Still some investigations to be had. I say it again. If FIA is going to be consistent, hang on. She was sitting on the PC. I was worried she was going to turn it off. If the stewards are consistent, then he should get a penalty, as well as George Russell, for impeding at the end of the pit lane, because that was a long time that they waited at the end of the pit lane. And at Singapore, they said he should have been given a penalty rather than a reprimand. So, but yeah, who would have thought that we'd see Danny Ric in the top 5 today? The cat could probably out. Still believe. I think it's a lot to play for tomorrow. Yeah, I think there's still a lot there. I think Hamilton looks a bit stronger than Russell again here this weekend. We'll see how. Obviously, the start's going to be key. There's a lot to be won and lost into turn 1, as we've seen in previous years. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see if there's anything that happens there. Tune in for tomorrow, guys. I think it's going to be an intriguing one. I still don't think there's going to be a lot of on-track action. Mexico doesn't provide that for us. It's going to be more about strategy. Who wins and loses it in the pits tomorrow, and whether or not if Max has that free place grid penalty or not. We'll see. If the FIA is going to be consistent, what made you think? Well, I'm forever an optimist, James. So we'll see. But Leclerc, a second pole position for Leclerc. Bearing in mind, I think people are ignoring that. Leclerc has got a second 2 pole positions in a row. So Leclerc coming back into form. Right. This is a message to Ferrari and their strategists. Don't give Leclerc a 1-stop. Okay? I'm looking at you. Don't give him a 1-stop. All right? Don't do that to us, to our boy. He deserves better. Am I right? Is it the first 1-2 of the same constructor in quality all year? I don't think so, Spud. I don't think so. Well, that's the thing, Malt, isn't it? Yeah, it's very, very bizarre, that stat. Very bizarre. I'm still so worried about what Ferrari are going to pull tomorrow. 1-stop. Actually, yeah, 1-stop. Take it back. Make sure you give Leclerc the 1-stop and not ever that bullshit alternative strategy. We don't want plan D. We don't want plan fucking STZ. We want plan A to work, and that's it. There. That is the bizarre factor, isn't it? If this is, you are so right on there, James. If statistically, if Leclerc is on pole, Max has a better chance of winning. Yeah, no, that is my fault. Live, my fault is that Danny Ric is actually driving Perez's car. They've switched cars this weekend, but they've just changed deliveries. But wow, what a result there that is, guys. What a grid that is, and it's not even our final grid because there could be penalties coming for Max Verstappen, Hamilton, and Russell. I think Verstappen and Russell are slam dunk penalties. But of course, this is the FIA we are dealing with here. Nothing is ever slam dunk, but from my opinion, they are. And Hamilton, I don't know if he was or not. Apparently, he didn't slow down for yellows. We'll see if that is resulted in a penalty. But let's have a rundown of the grid as we know it, provisional starting grid for tomorrow. Leclerc and Sainz, the two Ferraris, on first and second. Max Verstappen in third. Danny Ricciardo, yes, you heard that correctly. Daniel Ricciardo, in only his second race back after breaking his wrist, in an AlphaTauri of all cars, is in P4. Out qualifying Sergio Perez at his home race in the Red Bull. Wow, what a story that is. Lewis Hamilton in P6, Piastri, the only McLaren, into Q3 in P7, Russell P8, Bottas and Zhou. Good performance from both the Alfa Romeos there, making it into Q3. Of course, benefiting from Albon's track limits violation, which demoted him down into Q2. Gasly 11th, Hulkenberg 12th, Alonso 13th, Albon 14th, Tsunoda 15th, Ocon 16th, Magnussen 17th, Stroll 18th, Norris, of course, being shafted by the yellow flag of Alonso and ballsing up his last qualifying lap in 19th, and Sargent in 20th. It'd be interesting to see how Bono does tomorrow. Maybe there was some damage on the car. Hopefully he'll be able to make his way up the grid tomorrow, because he definitely has a pacey Williams underneath him. But yeah, there we go, guys. That is your provisional grid for tomorrow. Whew. Ferrari team order, don't fight yourself. I repeat, don't fight yourself. Make it to the finish line. Yeah. Max will win by 20 seconds. You heard it here first. Oh, yeah. I hope not. I hope it's at least a race. I mean, look, guys, I'm kind of positive, but I'm also not, because have we ever had a decent race at Mexico? Don't think we have. I don't think we ever have. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. It's definitely an interesting grid, but we'll see how long it lasts. So, but yes, guys, much appreciated. Thank you for joining me as always. Thank you for all the brand new subs. Thank you for the likes. 55 likes. If you can hit the like button on the way out, it'd be much appreciated. Turn your notifications on for sure, because I'll be going live at 7:30 tomorrow. So half an hour before the race starts, wherever you are in the world. That is when we'll be going live for the build up to the race, and then the race starts at 8 o'clock UK time. So yes, yep, thanks James. Yeah, up to, where are we sitting at now, subscribers? This was the stream we hit 14,000 subs. So thank you guys. 14,006 subscribers. So yeah, another milestone reach. Onwards and upwards to 15k now, eh? But yeah, thank you guys. Have a lovely rest of your evening, rest of your Saturday, and I'll catch you tomorrow night. See you then, guys. Bye.